All right, let's go pick up Brian Jones, CBS Sports Morning Show. And, Brian, good morning.
Steve Dale, you so old, you remember when the Dead Sea was just sick.
You are correct, my friend. In fact, I remember the Dead Sea when it was well. I am that stinking old, my friend. Indeed, I am. Hey, welcome to the program. I thought you were going to be on Thursday. Wednesday, hey, that's just as great as well, because I wanted to get into some conversation with you. I know you're limited as far as time is concerned with me, but I remember your high school. Needless to say, I covered that at Dunbar. But I also remember your college career with David McWilliams down at Texas. There is a connection with you and the Missouri incident with something that happened at UT. Can you kind of document that for us a little bit?
Yeah, we had an incident during spring ball, so didn't really. It was significant, but there was no threatening of missing actual games. So in that regard, it's not as prominent, even though it was significant, as what's going on in Missouri. But we had a situation where there was a fraternity there, and they had posted some racial epithets on a vehicle, and then they were distributing shirts with caricatures of Michael Jordan and Sambo, and so it was just some lunacy going on in a particular fraternity there on campus. And we went to Coach McWilliams and said, hey, we're not practicing until this is addressed, and it was addressed, and so we went back to doing what we were supposed to do, which was engaging in spring football. But it was a moment for us to come together as a team, and there was a lot of solidarity between the black players, the white players, and Coach McWilliams had our back, and like I said, it was addressed, and we moved on.
Are things worse now than what they were back in 1990, or are they better as far as race relations are concerned in this country?
Well, I think they're a lot more covert, and it's disheartening that we're still sitting here fighting the same battles that we were fighting when I was back in college and way before I was even thought of. It's just amazing that we haven't been able to put this racial piece behind us. But a lot of people, they don't want to put it behind us. They find some solace in the fact that they can look down on others because their hue and pigmentation is different than another person's, and so it's just amazing to me that we waste so much time, needless time, talking about racial issues, but we have to, and that's one of the reasons why it persists, is because we don't talk about it. We just, those who just dismiss it summarily, it's nothing, you're race baiting, and I don't know what the hell that means. If you see it and you point it out, let's have a discussion about it. And yes, on the other hand, there are those who may use it as a crutch, but until we get to the bottom of it, which a lot of people don't want to do, we're going to be divided, and that's unfortunate, man, because, I got bused when I was there in Lubbock, Texas, at the elementary age over to Wheelock Elementary, and we had issues there, and there were fist fights. People calling you the N-word, and then I got bused at J.T. Hutchinson High, and we had incidents there as well. But we got past it, and I got lifelong friends from both of those schools, and I'm so appreciative of my upbringing to learn different cultures, and I believe that has made me a more well-rounded person. Not just to have the black experience, but have the white experience and have the Hispanic experience. I think that's cool, and some people don't. They want to be stuck in a box and just see it one way. Well, I like different perspectives.
Well, I'm going to be a little different. I don't want the conversation for the simple fact that we're all human beings.
Yeah.
We're alive. We have a prehensile thumb. So consequently, if you have that, you're a human being. I don't care what color you are.
Right.
I enjoy cultures, and I enjoy being around people, good people. So I don't care what color you are. I'm not going to have that conversation because it doesn't matter to me. If you're a good individual, I don't care as far as race is concerned.
Steve, you're right, and the point I'm trying to make, when it does rear its ugly head, let's discuss it. Let's get to the bottom of it. That's all I'm saying. I think it's exhausting to sit here and be preoccupied with it, and I'm not preoccupied with race, but I am impacted by it, unfortunately. But when it does rear its ugly head, let's discuss it, get to the bottom of it, and move on.
All right, Brian Jones with us off of CBS Sports. I know you have a heart out at 49. CFP, the top four, do those change, do you think, by the time we get to January and the playoffs? I don't think they do with regards to Clemson, Ohio State, Alabama, and Notre Dame.
I believe 3 of the 4 are going to be mainstays, as you just stated. I believe Oklahoma can jump up into the mix if they can beat Baylor this weekend, of course. Be a tough feat. And also, if they can knock off TCU, as TCU still is sitting there with just 1 loss, and then their final ball game versus Oklahoma State in Stillwater, and if Oklahoma State is still unscathed, I think Oklahoma can be that 1-loss team that can replace Notre Dame, because essentially what you would have is 2 ACC teams in there, because Notre Dame is a de facto ACC team with all the competition they play out of that conference. But Oklahoma, I said this last year, Steve, if you'd had TCU and Baylor sitting there with the 1 loss as we got to the end of the season, if you'd had Texas and Oklahoma sitting there with the 1 loss instead of TCU and Baylor, they have the brand recognition that TCU and Baylor did not possess. They would have been in that playoff, even with the 1 loss. And so it came down to that. Oklahoma, I don't think there's any way this committee is going to turn a blind eye to Oklahoma if they're able to run the gauntlet that I just outlined for you. I think they get in.
Yeah, indeed. Running the gauntlet and branding, it seems to be what will get you into the CFP in college football. Brian Jones of CBS Sports, we appreciate you being with us here on Sportsline this morning, and we'll catch up with you a little later on when you have some time.
When are you going to send me one of those Pete's hamburgers up here in New York City?
Hey, I'll send you some Pedro's tamales, too. How about that, bro?
Some Josie's, baby.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, we'll get you some good stuff up there. We'll get you some real Mexican food, okay?
My mama, Stephanie, here. Send some of her food up here.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey, Brian, take care, bud, and we'll catch up with you. And it's great to have you on the station and on the program, too, today.
Thanks, Steve. You take care, bud.
All right. Thanks, Brian. Brian Jones, I got a chance to cover his high school career over at Dunbar. And, he went to UCLA and then transferred and went to Texas. And consequently is with CBS Sports Radio and is the early morning aspect of the show here, or early morning on the station here on 1340 before Sportsline comes on at 7 o'clock. He's done well for himself. He really has. But there again, you can tell just how intelligent, articulate the man is. He is very well-rounded in that regard. It's great to be able to have him on the program.